All right, this video is going to be a review of a few questions from the Unit 3B test. These are some of the concepts that we will be reviewing. Again, this is just part one video, so let's take a look at a few problems. So let's talk about this one first. We are finding slope. We're going to determine the slope of a line with the points 3, -5, and 2, or -2, 10. So you're given 2 points. Now remember, the slope is the change in y over the change in x. And the formula for finding the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, I gave you a strategy to help you with solving these. So let's go ahead and take a look using this little L bracket that we talk about. Remember, we can stack, slide, and subtract our numbers if this helps you. So we have 3, -5, that's our x and our y, the first one. And then we have -2 and 10. So we use this strategy just to make sure that we line everything up. So again, you want to be sure that you slide your numbers down and in place. So these are the y's. So we're going to have the change of y at the top. These are the x's, and we'll have the change of x at the bottom. All right, so we have our, I'm going to change the color, but it's -5 minus 10 for the change in y. And then at the bottom, we have 3 minus -2. So be sure this minus right here is part of the formula. So we're going to have 3 minus -2. And again, I have told you that you can put this in your calculator, which might help you to be sure you get the right answer. But -5 minus 10 is -15. And 3 minus -2, that actually becomes, we can add the opposite. So we add the opposite of -2, which is +2, and 3 plus 2 is 5. And then when we simplify that, -15 divided by +5 is -3. So the slope would equal -3. All right, let's take a look at it. This one, we're also finding the slope. This says to determine the slope of the following equation. -3x plus 5y equals 10. Now, we don't know the slope because it's not written in y equals mx plus b form, but we can convert it to that. We're trying to basically solve for y because we want to write it in y equals mx plus b form, okay? Now, I'm going to back out of that, and I want to show you how to do that to solve for y. So basically, we need to get this 5y by itself, so we've got to remove the -3x. Now, when solving equations, when we want to remove something, we use the inverse or opposite operation. So we can add 3x to the left side in order to basically cancel, because that equals 0x. But we also have to add 3x to this side. Now, it is written under the 10, but this is not 10 plus 3x. There's basically 0 x's over here. So when we add 3x to 0x, we're going to get 3x. So in a sense, we took this -3x and we brought it over here and made it +3x. So now what we have is 5y equals our +3x and then plus 10, because this 10 was already positive, so plus 10. Now it says 5y, but we want to solve for y, so we're going to do the opposite of multiplying by 5, which is to divide by 5. And we have to divide everything by 5. So we are going to end up with y equals, remember, our slope is oftentimes a fraction. We can leave it as a fraction. We do want to simplify it, but this is already simplified, so we will just leave that as 3/5 x, and then 10 divided by 5 is 2, so we have plus 2. And now that we have it in slope-intercept form, we can identify the slope, and the slope is simply the number with the x. It's 3/5. So again, the slope for this one, the slope for this one is m equals 3/5. All right. Now, on this one, we're actually going to write an equation from this table, but we have to do some of the same things. We're going to have to be able to, one, find the slope, and then find the equation, find the y-intercept, because we're going to write this in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So in the table, we can find the m, the slope, the change in y over the change in x, and then we can identify the y-intercept, because the y-intercept is the y value when x is 0, and here it is right here. So again, if you have a table and you want to find the slope, you're looking for the change in y, all right, the change in y over the change in x. But as always, you can use the stack, slide, subtract if you would like to help you. So we have a -5, -2. I got that from the table. This is the x and the y. Now we have another x and y, 0, -4. So I'm just going to fill that in, 0 and -4. And then when you plug in those numbers, we end up with a -2 minus -4 for the change in y. And then for the change in x, we have -5 minus 0. So -5 minus 0. When we work this out, let's see, -2 minus -4 actually becomes -2 plus 4, which is 2. So we have a 2 over, and then in the denominator, -5 minus 0 is -5. So when we write this out as the slope, we're going to call it -2/5. So now we can take our -2/5 and plug it into the slope formula, and we have y equals -2/5x, and then our plus b is right here with our 0, -4. So actually our plus b is going to be the -4, so we just write -4. And that is the equation from this table.